get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Clock, clock, yeah. Typically unique. Neon signs glow, brick wall behind me. Headlines loud, but they never define me. They rush the story, skip the proof. I slow it down, let it show the truth. Files on deck, read every line. Timestamps matter, so does time. If it don't fit, I don't force the frame. Ask one question, whole story change. No fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Read it again. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah, let that sink in. Screenshot save, timeline's tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say elected, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you're in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Hello. Ooh, hot mess express over here this morning. Sorry, you guys. Happy Wednesday. Getting over this hump day. Clocking in, everybody. Clock in, get those time cards punched on the like button. There you go. There you go. Welcome to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. I hope you guys are off to a better start than me. It's not bad, just hectic this morning. So I have some updates for you. Hey, Wade Bird. Say hello to everybody. Hi, Jenna. Hi, Sweet Pea. Jen 7S. G-Bean, good morning, good morning. Accomplished day. You did such a great job last night on Birdies. If you guys have not seen that, go check her out. She has a theory that she put together, and her document of people and times and everything is amazing. We appreciate you so much and all the work you have done. Accomplished day. Well done. Well done. Moto Man, good morning. I hope you're doing well today. Don't work too hard. If you're working, don't work too hard. Hi, Becca. Buffalo Chick. Hello, hello. It's 63 degrees. I know. I don't even think it's made it to 70 here yet today. I don't like that. I don't like that. I want it to be hot, hot, hot. Oh, look at that. Duckling, 900 gems. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I made a new, well, courtesy of Sleuther 75. She sent me this, like it's a meme going around, but I took it and, I have to make these super short so they don't get flagged, and kind of made it our own. So here's a new thank you for you.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday.
One more time, it's short.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday.
Isn't that hilarious? The little real peeps. Real peeps in the club, you guys. That is so funny. Oh, accomplished day. If there were people like poking back at you, that means people are paying attention. So I've learned that. I've toughened up my skin, and trust me, I deal with personal attacks. They make fun of my glasses. I got called an old lady. I'm like, I told my daughter, I said, my response was, clock that. And we have each other's backs. We have each other's backs, right? Yeah. Oh, that word, that is my biggest pet peeve. I'm guilty of that. Those filler words. I know. I watch myself back and I'm like, oh my gosh. I even looked up ways to train yourself to speak without those things, and there is something out there. I just haven't done it yet. But I think being self-aware is important and says something. And there's nothing that somebody's going to say that I don't already know myself. So whatever. A couple little like just pop culture things. Jen put in, probably in the astrology section. Not sure, Jen. Apologize if it's the wrong place, but on our Discord, she updated that the Northern Lights can be seen during, I think she put the 20th to the 23rd or 21st to the 23rd. So be looking for those. I have seen them before. It's pretty amazing. And I am still waiting for my Lollapalooza tickets. It is a week from tomorrow. So I'm on crunch time. So I'm trying to avoid having to buy black market tickets. I'm trying to wait them out, but you get to that point where you can't wait, but I got to get tickets. I can't go there and not go in, right? Oh, the Northern Lights. Oh yeah, they're pretty cool. You look up at the sky and you just see this, like, it's almost like lava lamp lights, in the sky. So cool. All right. So I'm going to start with the fastest update today is the D4VD case. David Anthony Burke, accused of killing Celeste Rodriguez. I know she's got a second last name in there. Focus on that victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. That's what it is. Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was found in the front trunk of his Tesla, highly decomposed and dismembered. And they had a grand jury that went on forever. I talked about that yesterday. And then they're starting preliminary hearings, which is so good because that's something Brian Kohberger waived, right? He waived his speedy process rights. And so He did not get to have a preliminary hearing. And in the preliminary hearing, the prosecution has to, there's no jury. There's no jury when you have a preliminary hearing. It's just the judge hearing the prosecution's evidence. And it started yesterday. They are letting people in, but no cameras. So, all the major news outlets, they're sending a representative in there to witness it and take notes. And then they come out and report. And I found a lady who was reporting, and her audio was so bad. I'm not even going to bother to play any of it on here. And basically the gist was, they spent most of the day showing the evidence and showing her body, showing the remains, and it sounded horrific. Just the state of her body. And that news reporter said that David Anthony Burke had no reaction, kind of stoic, until they showed, if you don't know, Celeste was an underage girl. And David was also underage until the past few years. So he was accused of, relationship with an underage minor. That's one of his charges. And they had matching tattoos on their fingers. And that finger of hers was dismembered. And it wasn't until they showed that photo that he kind of perked up and paid attention. So I was very surprised that her parents, they were there, they were in the courtroom, and they chose to stay when they were showing those photos. And I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine witnessing that. I don't know if I would want that image in my head of my child. I don't know. I know. He was physically intimate with her, like spent years with her, and then turn around and do something like that. It's disgusting. So that preliminary hearing is continuing on today. So later tonight, I will find out what happened today and report back tomorrow. Major updates with the Nolan Wells. So changing cases. Nolan Xavier, I believe is his middle name, Wells, was the Mississippi teen who went out boating on the 4th of July with his friends. Oh, I need to change my banner there. This is not courtesy of Connor. Ha 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 ha. Let's see. What do we got here? My banners are so... There we go. We'll do that one. Oh, please like and subscribe. You guys, I was 1 subscriber away from 3,500, 3.5K. Did we get that 1 subscriber yet? Did we get that 1 subscriber? Let's check. Nope. I need anybody out there in the chat right now that's not subscribed yet. 1 more subscriber. That's all I need. So, okay, Nolan Wells. So he is the teen that went out boating. He's a Black teenager, and he went with his white friends on their boat, along with a lot of other people from that area, white and Black, on boats, going out to, I think it was called Horn Island, if I have that right. And it is a tiny, like, strip of almost like a big sand dune, but with some, there is some shrubbery and stuff on it. no businesses or anything like that. It's just barren. But you can, pull up into the little bay area and just hang out, anchor your boat and hang out. And that's what they did on the 4th of July with lots of other people. Well, the friends went home and went to bed, and Nolan never showed up at home. Now, I thought the mom started looking for him when he didn't come home. That's my understanding. I don't know if anybody had to actually call the mom to let her know, but I'm unsure about that. But that mom, love her. She just went immediately to work. Like, I've got his location on my phone. Where's his phone? Where's his phone? His phone was at the friend's house, but Nolan wasn't there. They were reluctant to give up his phone. They also had his car keys. So that happened. We recently found out that his text messages and social media, get this, you guys, they were deleted after they found his body. Just let that sink in for a minute. There is no physical possible way that Nolan deleted those. Now, his mom did get his phone, I believe, between him missing and them finding his body. So his mom did have the phone, but she wouldn't do that. So it had to have been probably when they were in the possession of the teens, or maybe it was if they were deleted after he went missing. Yeah. They can recover those messages. I agree with you. We know that. Even those Snapchat messages, you guys, even those Snapchat messages. Absolutely. So this is another case. So the NAACP jumps in immediately because it is a small town in Mississippi. And I'm sorry, I apologize if you're from Mississippi, but it's documented that racial events, crimes do not get handled fairly, equally in that state. Okay. And right away, they came out with one of the boys that were on the boat. His mom's a judge, and she came out and spoke right away. So that's the last thing you want is one of the, if they're suspects, that their mom's a judge. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So we have been waiting for autopsy results. And so the NAACP, they get involved right away because they're like, we know how this is going to go, right? So we just want to be an advocate for the family. Okay. So they immediately say, we're going to get an independent autopsy. Autopsy hasn't even been done yet. We know from past experience, we're going to need an independent autopsy. So, and they just keep saying, we want transparency. We want transparency. We just want to find out exact truth. If he drowned, he drowned. If it was an accident, it was an accident. But if it wasn't, we want to find that out. So the state does their autopsy first. And apparently they did not share their photos or reports with the private pathologist that Nolan Wells' family hired. They just gave the body. So, so think about that. You know what happens during an autopsy. So the state has their medical examiner do all of the autopsy work, and then sending the body after that to the independent pathologist, who's, also a medical examiner, to do a second autopsy. So you guys are gonna, I cannot believe this. Wait till you hear this. First of all, The original autopsy report said cause and manner of death unknown. That's important. I believe that was the original. It definitely was the second one. Oh, and getting a second autopsy is very, very expensive. And Colin Kaepernick, I know he is a controversial person. I personally love him. I have a Colin Kaepernick jersey just because he speaks out for social justice. So I like that. I'm a social justice warrior. He paid for the autopsy, so that's how it was able to get done. And the new pathologist, they said the date of death is unknown. So they're not exactly sure when he died. So they don't have like an exact time of death. I believe his body was found on he went missing on the 4th. If it was after midnight, it would be the 5th. Body was found on the 6th. The original autopsy was done sometime after that. And then the second autopsy was done on the 10th. They sent the body to the independent pathologist, and they didn't send the throat. It's going to be a little bit graphic, you guys. They just didn't send it. Missing body part. Missing body part. That body part would be able to tell the pathologist if there was like water, if there was, excuse me, if there was pressure. Sleuther, is that Sleuther 75? Hey, I turned your shorty, it's your birthday peeps into a thank you. That was so cute. I know. I thought about the lungs too. They did not mention that, which I thought was suspicious. If water was in the lungs or not. So does that mean there wasn't water in the lungs? I don't know. It sounded to me like they're saying, I don't know. All I know, Sleuther. Sleuther's coming in big today with 10 new members, you guys. 10 new members. Welcome, welcome. Let me see who got those. And we're going to get some hip-hopping chicks in here. Let's see. Welcome, Ham and Cheese Sammy, Yvette KC, Ass-tastic, Colin 401, LNKNK. I'm sure I'm supposed to know what that stands for. I apologize for that. Ashley's Activism, UK Mandy, Buffy Tayri Mom, Aaron Lee, and Bree Heat. Welcome, new peeps. Put some peeps in the chat.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
I'll do it again.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday.
Thank you, Sleuther. Thank you. Welcome to our new peeps. Oh my gosh. When you shared that with me, I sent it to my husband and my daughter. They think I'm crazy with all this stuff. Yay. People are finding out they got memberships. Peeps in the club. Hi, Jason Purcell. Hello. Hey, Ass-tastic, if I didn't say hello to you. Ro, good morning. Good morning. Okay, where was I with the autopsy? So the missing throat section, that's a huge issue. Even just to think, why are they holding that back? Why Why would you hold that back? Like, say you're suspicious without saying you're suspicious, right? Yeah. That gets this.
Dude, side eye. What is this?
Wrong one. Wait, where's my good one? That's all right. And
Red flag. Red flag.
red flag if you are holding back body parts. I mean, hello. Oh my goodness. Yes, Ophelia's got her shades on and I gave her blonde hair. Can you guys see her hair? LeBron's going back to Miami. No, I wanted him to come to Cleveland. This is his home. He needs to come back to Cleveland. Oh, well. Okay, here's another huge finding from the autopsy. So he was supposed to have drowned, and the pathologist, the private pathologist, found a red discoloration on the back of his head. And he had to, his body was so like decomposed from being in the water. He had to, like, warning, do incisions to look inside. He found no broken bones, no severe bruising in any of his other body parts. But on the back of his head, listen to the size of this, 12 inches. A foot long, 12 inches by 8 inches of red discoloration on the back of his head, like above his neck bone or something. He had to have hit it. He had to have hit his head on something, or somebody hit him. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. So it was Nolan Wells's family attorney, Crump, I think is his name. He was speaking. He gave a press conference. And yeah, it sounds like he got hit hard by something big, right? 12 inches by 8 inches. That's huge. It sounds like maybe and you know what's funny is the people on that boat that left Nolan Wells had to call, like, it wasn't an SOS, but they called emergency because they said their bilge pump was broken. Oh, how did it get broken? How did it get broken? Could be a big tree branch. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Just speculating, just speculating. So the independent autopsy person said that they had barriers, like their pathologist could not determine the cause or manner of death because they didn't get to see the body when they took the body out of the water. Only the state's coroner and medical examiner got to see it. And they have not shared their photos. You know, they have photos of the condition of the body. They did not share those with the independent pathologist. So they have missing information. They have missing information that we're all familiar with, how the defense, this isn't really a defense, this is the family, has to fight to get information, right? And we're going to be looking at that today with Leah Larkin. Let me see. Anything else I missed? I know there were a couple other things, but that's basically the what is going on currently with Nolan Wells. So I want to try to do this more often. We're going to do a little victim spotlight. Okay. I think it's important that we always keep the victims. I know I'm guilty of not doing that. So Nolan had his funeral 2 days ago, I believe, on the 20th, and they live streamed it. And so I just want to show, a little bit about his life. I silenced the music because I don't want to get flagged, but there's really nice kind of gospel type music playing on this, but he is so cute. He must have 2 brothers. I haven't heard about his brothers. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. You know, it hits me close to home. I have 3 nephews that look just like Nolan Wells. So it's just important to make sure that we find out exactly what happened. If it was an accident, it was an accident. So, friend groups. Yeah, he was a really awesome football player. Oh, living other habits. Yep, hits close to home, huh? I wonder if he was the homecoming king. Must be used to boating. I guess if you live on the water in Mississippi, that's you go boating, right? I didn't see these photos. There were some really, really good ones of yeah, here we go. Oh, maybe one brother, one little brother. His poor mom. I feel so bad for her. Dad. He was such a cute kid. Everywhere in the South. Yeah, you got to be careful. Traditions run deep. Oh, the other thing while this is playing that I will tell you, actually, I'm going to pull this up because it was so important. I'll let that play while I'm looking for this. Where's my history? There we go. Okay. So let me get this set up. So what was important, and I didn't know this, the attorney, you know, made sure to bring up, we know that when we cover true crime cases, that there are so many true crime cases involving what word am I looking for? My words escape me in my old age. Oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Groups of disenfranchised, I guess would be the word. Groups of people that don't always get the same coverage as, like, you know, pretty white girls. Like, we know that, right? That's a common saying, right? Oh, you're welcome, G Bean. Yes, it is sad, and it's important, right? So the attorney made sure that he brought up, and I didn't know this. There were 2 other Black teenagers killed on July 4th. On July 4th with suspicious circumstances. So he made sure to share that. Oh my God, let me find the part. Okay, let me see.
Justice for Nolan Wells.
I think it was before this. It was before that.
Any
Give me a second. I should have this queued up.
is Asian Navy. Have you all talked?
Nope, it's got to be after this because they did a Q&A. I think it was towards the end. Oh, Don Lemon, did you not show it? Did you not show it? All right, I got to get a different video. Let me get a different video. I'm not looking at the chat for a second. Hold on. I'll find the one I was watching. It was a straight up press conference. Oh my gosh. If you guys are on TikTok, all I keep seeing on TikTok about Nolan Wells is they done got Nancy Grace out of bed. They woke up Nancy Grace. Like, I don't understand that. Did Nancy Grace stop her show, you guys? Why are they saying Nancy Grace is back for the Nolan Wells case? And she is on the side of the Nolan Wells family. Like, she thinks that they were like, they're suspicious things. Okay. Oh, this is ABC. I can't show ABC. They don't like to share. They don't like to share. This one will work. It's crazy that you can't show the same content. Like, it's the same exact content, but because it's a major news network, they'll be like, you can't show it. Oh, here we go. And believe me, this is worth it, you guys. This is worth it. Wait till you hear this. Okay, it was after the yelling, the chanting. What happened to the closed caption? Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Jones to other cases that are not getting their attention as of yet, but I'm so grateful to.
Okay, so this is the attorney for the Nolan Wells family, and he's saying that, you know, they're grateful that Nolan is getting so much attention, but there are two other cases that happened the same exact day, both 18-year-old Black boys killed under suspicious circumstances, and they're getting no coverage. So I like that he shared this. Listen to what happened to these kids.
Christine and Elmer, because they said whatever we can do, not only to help our son, but to help these other young Black boys who was killed the July 4th holiday. And I want to take a moment before we answer your questions to talk about two other young Black men, both 18 years old, who were killed in extraordinary ways that are very similar to Nolan. President Johnson, 18-year-old Daniel Irvins went on a fishing trip, out on a fishing boat with two other young men. He was the only black. It is alleged that he ended up accidentally drowning, but his two white friends got his cell phone and threw it away, got his clothes and threw it away, and then went and deleted all of their text messages with him in social media.
Can you believe that, you guys? Can you? How is this still happening? How is this still happening? He makes a comparison, and when he does, I want you guys to think about the Idaho 4 case.
Sounds familiar? And they've only been charged with tampering with evidence, and his mother is crying out that they should be charged with murder, because if they would lie about his cell phone and his clothes and deleted messages, then they will lie about what really happened to Daniel Irvin.
Oh my gosh, you guys, isn't that what we are saying when we're investigating the Idaho 4 murders? That when we listen to interviews and we look at police work and we look at experts, lab reports and cell phone location data, and when we see things that look like lies, we can make the conclusion that if you would lie by omitting about something, should we be able to assume that you would lie or omit about other things, right?
And then there's the matter of President Johnson, Christine Clark.
Hi, William Tardy.
18-year-old Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith, on 4th of July, was at a house party with
Listen
about
to this
10 other
one.
people. He was the only black person at the house.
Okay. Tyler Smith at a house party with 10 other people, only black person. Listen to what happens to him.
He somehow ends up shot in the head, dead. Some of the friends get rid of the gun. The police show up. They tell the police it was an accident. It was an accidental shooting, that they were playing Russian roulette. And Tyler Smith ended up getting killed. And apparently, Christine Clark, President Johnson, the police just took their word for it. His mother and grandmother are incensed. They asked the police, did you do a gunshot residue test on his hands? And the reason they said they had to call us, like Daniel Irvin's and Nolan Wells' family, because the police told them, President Johnson, that there was no need to do gunshot residue on his hands or any of the other people in the house, because I don't understand this logic, but they said if they were playing Russian roulette, then all of them would have gunshot residue on their hands. So we don't need to do gunshot residue tests.
Make what? We don't need to do any testing because they're playing Russian roulette and everybody's going to have gunshot residue on their hands. Yeah, Hitler. Yeah. What if you tested, I forget the victim's name, Tyler, did they say Tyler? I got to learn these. I'm going to learn these kids' names so we remember them. And he didn't. What if they say he was playing Russian roulette, but he doesn't have gunshot residue on his hands? Then what? Then what? But see, they don't want to find out the truth. They don't want to find out the truth. What if only one of those 10 people that's not the victim had gunshot residue on their hands? Right? That's what the parents are asking. This is insane. 2026 America, you guys. 2026. This is our legal system. I will not call it a judicial system. This is our legal system.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Hey,
so
Mike.
they're taking the word of these 10 people that your son just killed himself. And you don't have to worry about doing any investigation or testing forensically anything. Just take our word for it. Now, can you imagine in any 3 of these scenarios had the survivors been young black men and they were with a young white man and he ended up
I love
dead,
this.
what kind of investigation would that have been?
Yep.
What kind of interrogation would that have been? Would they have ever been able to see the light of day until those questions were answered? Well, just like you would do a thorough investigation for your children, we want you to do a thorough investigation for our children. We don't want anything special. We just want equal justice. Equal justice.
I mean, that's the point. They don't want anything special. They don't want anything special. They want the same investigation done that you would have done, white cop, white judge, white police officers, if it was your own child. What would you do if it was your own child? Would you hold back a body part from your private medical examiner to get the private autopsy done? No, you would throw a fit. You know what else that would happen is they would probably have the black suspects in jail if they had their white kid's phone and car keys until like there were some answers. Like they would just be arrested, right? They would just be arrested. But it doesn't work the other way around. Doesn't work the other way around. And I've seen a lot of people talk about the Idaho 4 case with the survivors in the house, or even Hunter Johnson, like having a knife at a stabbing and just being allowed to walk free. If those were, think about if that house, the Idaho 4 case, were like a black fraternity, like black men fraternity, and 4 of them were stabbed to death and 2 of them survived. What would have happened? What would they have done with those survivors? They would have taken them to the station and they would probably be like suspects number 1 and have to prove their innocence. And I don't know. These are important points, along with all the other things we're finding out with the investigation, right? We have gone over, I'm transitioning now to the Idaho 4 case. We went over the CyRay official expert report. I took lots of notes on that, made some graphic organizers, and saw what he found from the prosecution not providing discovery to the defense. I think I found several examples of Brady violations just in CyRay's report. Okay. Today we're going to look at Leah Larkin's report, and I think there are Brady violations in there as well. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It is early in the investigation. There's quite a bit of information that's come out yet. And one more thing. Let me go back to Nolan Wells. That makes it highly suspicious for me. Because the story is that Nolan said, I'm going to stay on the island. I want to hang out with this girl. You guys go. Okay. Where's the girl? I keep looking for an interview of her to see if she has spoke. Who was with him last? Where are they? If he stayed on the island to hang out, who saw him last? Who were the last people to leave the island? These are things we don't know. And we should know. Those are simple answers. Those are simple answers. You find every boat that was out there and you ask them, what time did you leave? They have GPS. They have GPS on their boat. Oh, there's also, I guess, some suspicious things about the boat that left Nolan, about their GPS data. So I don't know what that is yet fully, but I know they are questioning the GPS data. So I would think they interviewed her. I would think. I haven't seen anything yet, though. But I would, if you have simple answers like that, like, why not go to Nolan's family and say, we talked to the girl. She was with Nolan until this time at night. It was like, I don't know. What's the explanation? Did he accidentally get left behind? Like, come on. What's the explanation? There's got to be. I haven't heard an explanation yet. So that's it. Oh, thank you, Smiling Sleuth. See, the girl says she saw him walk towards his friends, and his friends say they saw him walk with the girl. And both things cannot be true. So someone's lying. Someone's lying. Someone's lying. Yeah. It's just not forthcoming. You know, something is suspicious when you just don't have like all the forthcoming information, right? Yeah. And hello to you, Smiling Sleuth. Good to see you guys. All right. So, I'm not going to read the whole entire Leah Larkin report because it is a very science heavy with what forensic genealogy, investigative genealogy is and how it works. We're going to get the basics. I highlighted the basics. And then we're really going to dive into what does she say about Bryan Kohberger. So what in her report, and her report was not god awful long. I think it was, what do I got here? 9, 10 pages, 10 pages, 12 pages, but I'm only reading parts of it. And then she talks about the family tree that they used to get to Bryan Kohberger. And so I took the information from the report and I put it into an AI tool. I couldn't use ChatGPT because it timed me out of my free images. And I don't pay for it. I'm trying not to pay for it. So I used Canva's AI, which is very good, by the way. Canva AI is the one that makes all my dancing peeps. And it does a good job. Does a really good job. I made, look at this. I'll show you under the document camera when we get to this part. But it made me 4 different versions of the family tree that they put in the report. So it's going to be awesome to like visualize what they are actually saying. Yeah. Yeah, and I will share these with you guys. I will share them. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see. I got an hour. Until I have to take my car to the shop. I live in one of those towns that, like, it's populated. I mean, it's not like, podunk, one traffic light kind of town, but we don't have major anything, stores and stuff like that. So I got to drive like a half an hour to go get my car taken care of. Whoops. So that's why today's different for me. So my findings with Leah Larkin was it's another case of the prosecution didn't turn everything over that they should have. Imagine that, you guys. Imagine that. Imagine that. Uh-oh. What did I do? Aw, was that a compliment, I hope? Oh, because I have to drive for my car. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. In Cabo, who's in Cabo? Let me see. Hi, friendly snake. In Cabo, doctors call from cell phones to tell us they're running late. I have to say, when my son was sick, like he had leukemia, long story. He's alive and well today. I have videos about it. You can go back and watch. But his pediatric oncologist, the good one that we finally got, I had her personal cell phone number. His nurse practitioner that was at the children's hospital, I had her personal cell phone number. The nurse that would come to our house for his infusions, I had her personal cell phone number. There are doctors out there that will do that. As a teacher, I gave my parents my personal cell phone number. I taught for 34 years and I never once had a parent abuse it. Like, I know people use that as an excuse, but I never ran into that. I love that. Oh my gosh, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Thank you, Jen. Don't let me forget. Do not let me forget Bone Thugs and Harmony. We hit it. You guys. 3.5. 3.5. Where's this at? Right there.
Clock it. So I gotta say thank you.
Clock it.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you. Yay, 3.5, 3.5. That's a big one. I wonder who subscribed. I only needed one more. Who just subscribed? You're the winner. You're the hero. Does the state ever get it right, Moto? Not in Idaho. Oh my gosh. Oh, maybe. I hope we didn't celebrate a little early, but that's okay. All right. Get this bigger. What is this doing? This? Why does it look so small? Oh, let me find. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Michelle gifted a membership. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you. I appreciate that greatly. Who is our new peep? Curious Minds. Welcome, Curious Minds. Welcome, welcome. Did I make that? Let me see if I made these. I think I did. All right, I'm going to test this out. Hopefully I get away with that. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Dr. Leah Larkin gives her background. Okay. Then we get into, man, usually you can see this so much better. What is focus? Focus. Oh, the light. I don't have the light on. There we go. That's going to help. Man. Okay. So just some basics. Genetic genealogy. Okay. This is what we're talking about. The genealogy, the family tree combines traditional genealogical research, so DNA, using historical records. Oh, not DNA, like your family, genealogical, your family tree. So it uses traditional family tree historical records, who you're related to, with the analysis of DNA data from the direct-to-consumer testing companies. Okay, we know that that's an issue with the testing companies and everything. So how this works is that it says examples include identifying an unknown biological parent. So when do they use this process? Like, I'm adopted and I want to find my parents. Okay. That's when they would use it. Or I just want to find out about my ancestors. It can also be used to identify DNA samples of unknown origin, including but not limited to DNA found at crime scenes. So either I want to find somebody for some kind of reason, an ancestor, a relative, or I have DNA and I want to figure out whose DNA it is for a crime. So here's how you might see it worded: FGG, FIGG, or IGG. So those are all abbreviations. So let me see. It's forensic genetic genealogy, forensic investigative genetic genealogy, or investigative genetic genealogy. So they're all the same thing. And typically they use autosomal DNA. When I start seeing these words, my eyes roll to the back of my head. Like, I can't get this deep into the weeds. So they use autosomal DNA. Okay. And all we need to know is when we see this, at DNA, that's what they're using. Okay. And that is what makes up 95% of our genomes. So 95% of our genomes is this at DNA. And when you see that, it is what we inherit, our physical traits. Okay. What color is your hair? What color are your eyes? How tall are you? Things like that. Your psychological makeup and your health traits. So 95% is that. Okay. Oh, Moto, have you ever wanted to or looked into your family of origin? I have one of my best friends was adopted and she found her birth mom. And it was thankfully a really good experience. It was a really good experience. And then we have autosomal DNA. Autosomal DNA is inherited equally from both your parents, and it can be used to investigate both the maternal and paternal branches of a person's family. So, at autosomal DNA is your, things you inherit. And it's from your parents, mom and dad. Of course, right? Of course. All right. Generally speaking, the more at DNA that two people share, and we've heard this word, right? Centimorgans. So you're just looking at these centimorgans. The more centimorgans they share, the more closely related they are. Common sense. Common sense. However, the correlation is not exact. Now, I used to watch CeCe Moore's TV show, The Genetic Detective. She's one of the founding fathers of investigative genetic genealogy. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And, that whole process of the investigative part of it, they kind of figured it out as they went along. And I remember her talking about these centimorgans, and I don't know if they just had to call it something. So that's what they called it. I don't know. But Leah Larkin here is saying, the more centimorgans, the more you're closely related, but it's not exact. So if you come down to two people on a tree, and let's say one has 75 centimorgans and the other one has 85 centimorgans, can you really tell which one's a cousin and which one's a second cousin or which one's a brother? You know what I mean? Like that. Let's see. Okay, so then she says, here's an example. Someone who shares 100 centimorgans could be anywhere from a half first cousin to a fifth cousin. See, that's what I was talking about. So it's an estimate. If you're seeing 100 centimorgans, at least I'm looking for somebody who's in this cousin range, probably. Probably not a sister, probably not a brother, probably not a parent, because the centimorgans would be way higher. So this is the part I love. I would love to do this job, you guys. Probably a lot of us would, because we like investigating and learning things. I would love to be the one to look at the family tree and hunt down their relatives, read newspaper articles and look for birth and death certificates and stuff like that. And so that's what the genealogist person does. That's what they do. They start looking for records, any kind of data that they can find. And it's really, they use those sources and they make logical inferences, right? Logical inferences, which is more of an art than a science. It's common sense, okay? They give an example here. If you look at the report, this is on page 2. They give an example of how it works, okay? And let's see. I'll read this because you guys are talking about adoption. So this is how it would work. They use adoption as an example. In the 2010s, amateur genealogists developed strategies to help people identify unknown biological family. For example, the parents of an adoptee. The genetic genealogist first builds family pedigree for the top DNA matches. Okay. So you, as the person who was adopted, would have to do the swab, the cheek swab, and you would have to enter it into a DNA database. And then the genealogist would look at your results, and they would look for the person who has the highest centimorgans. And they're going to start with that person. And then they're going to start building a tree, and they're going to go, okay, who were their parents? Does this person have a spouse? Do they have any kids? Who are their cousins? And that's how you start building out the tree. And how do they find those people? How do they find if they have, who their parents are? Or you have to go through records. You go through records. So their example is after they find a match. So they're saying they look into the database. You did the swab and you uploaded it, and then they find 2 matches. And they look at those 2 matches and they go, oh my gosh, these 2 people share the same great grandparents. So they can build that tree. Grandparents, parents, and then 2 people that share that, right? They try to build it. And they match the adoptee in the second cousin range. The genealogist might pursue other descendants of that ancestral couple to find possible candidates for the adoptee's biological parent. However, given the variability in DNA sharing, the connection could be 1 or 2 generations further back. So I've watched this several times on her show. So what she's saying is if they start with great grandparents and you start building down, you may never find a connection because you might have needed to go further back. Things like that. So, let me continue on with this example. So here's her example. The search can be narrowed down by tying in matches on other family lines. For example, if the suspected great-grandparents had 8 children, one cannot initially tell which of the 8 was the direct ancestor of the adoptee. And this is what's going to happen with Brian Kohberger. Like, you can't initially tell. However, if there is a reasonable DNA match who is related to the spouse of one of those children, the genealogist might assume that the adoptee is descended from that child and their spouse rather than from one of the other 7 siblings. So that's where you got to start looking. Okay, there's 8 siblings. Who did they marry? Did they have kids? And start doing that, looking at other matches. What were these? What are the centimorgans? How can we it's such a intriguing process to me. You can't get their DNA because they are most likely dead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would never be able to go back and get the ancestors' exact DNA. You would not. No. Nope. Yeah, they call it, I was going to look up this word. They call it an iterative process, where it's refined by repeatedly adding new, so repetitive, you have to go back, it's probably ruling things out. Iterative. I'm going to look at this one, see what I get. Okay, now I'm going to try another one, see what I get. Oh, this one's better. I think that's what they do. Okay. Okay, if you guys watched, so Leah Larkin is pointing out the issues or the complications that can happen with investigative genetic genealogy. And it's a complicated process, was basically what she was saying in the part I just read. Okay. It's a tedious process. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of going back and doing things again. Now here's another, I keep hitting inspector, sorry. Another complicating factor is that certain religious, cultural, and geographic groups tend to have, where's that word? Endogamy. If you watched Pavarotti's video, probably over the weekend, a few videos back, he covered this. He has a Leah Larkin video. There are some groups that might marry a second cousin, things like that. And then it will make their DNA matches, I guess, higher numbers, more centimorgans, I think. So they address that. Okay, this is important down here. This is important. The methods developed by amateur, because this is not really, as far as I know, this is still like an amateur field. Unless Othram has made it professional, I don't know. But there are like the CC Moores and the Gabriella Vargas's, like it's their own independent practice and they get hired by companies. That does not sound healthy. Remember, you are right. But remember, you're talking about times back like, the 1800s, the early 1900s. Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, I'm Italian and I grew up knowing that. Weird. I know it's weird. Even in some of the movies, you guys go back and watch the old Godfather. I'll bet you they mention it in the Godfather. They'll probably make a joke about somebody being a second cousin or something like that. Okay, but this part right here is important. Ideally, the DNA matches will point to both parents, right? You want to get on that tree where you're seeing both parents of the person of interest. And then the investigation can focus on the children of that couple. That's where you want to get, right? If the matches guide the genealogist to only one set of potential grandparents or great-grandparents, the scope of the investigation is much broader. Okay, this is what they're saying. Okay. Here's Michael Koberger. And oh my gosh, what's Brian's mom's name? I know it. I forgot it. Marianne? Is it Marianne? Marianne Koberger. Okay, so this is Brian's dad and Brian's mom. So they would know who his mom and dad are, and they should know who her mom and dad are. And they would know her mom and dad and his mom and dad, and this person's mom and dad. See how they have to do this? And her mom and dad. So this is what I learned from watching CeCe Moore's show. They start here and then they build the tree up. So they go backwards in time. Let me think. If they had, let's say they have BK's DNA. And they put it into a data system. And they find somebody that matches. This, but it's like way up here. Like maybe it's her mom and dad. Like that. So that would be like parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, great-great-grandparent. But it's only on the dad's side. And so you had and then they start coming down to find the matches where they would get to something from his mom. And Leah Larkin is saying in this report that everything over here with the mom, with Brian's mom, is not showing up on their work. So how does that make sense? How can you get to somebody without having their mom's family on the tree? Does this make sense, you guys? I'm not saying we're going to look at the tree that they gave as an example. I'm just giving an example here. But they took the DNA from the sheath. I shouldn't even put BK here. Let's not even put BK. Let's put sheath. They took the sheath DNA and they put it in the site and they said, okay, here's a match way up here. Let's start filling in the tree. So they start filling in the tree and everything they fill in the tree with is over here on his dad's side. They never got to the mom's side. Like so then how can you say it matches a Brian Kohberger? I don't know. That's my interpretation. How convenient. It's a big mistake, I'll tell you that. Okay. Skipping all these pages, we're going to get to... Here we go. Leah Larkin is talking about her role in the investigation. So what did she do? Look at what I put. More hiding, you guys. More hiding. Let me take a break real quick. I want to see if you guys are making any comments. Hi, Witchy. Marriages between relatives were the norm among royalty. But yes. And if you think about like mob mentality, like mafia mentality, probably the same type of thing with Italians. Also, population issues, not being in a very populated area, things like that. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's why it happened. It's still legal to marry your first cousin in several states. Yes, Jen, my natural hair color is like very dark brown, very, very dark brown. Thank you all for being here. Yes, the ways that they hide stuff. So this is why this is important. I know this is a little bit of dry content, but I'm trying to like go through it, not just reading it verbatim. We're going to talk about it as we go, but there's more hiding. So we know that there's hiding information. And the reason I'm saying hiding, which is a harsh word, is because they omitted data that the defense needed. They did not turn over discovery that the defense needed. And to me, that is hiding. Otherwise, you would turn it over. Okay, so she was hired on July 27th of 2023. And she said she was hired to give her expert opinion on the FGG performed in this case. Forensic genetic genealogy performed in this case. My ability to do that has been hampered. She's using a kind word, hampered, by an ongoing lack of disclosure. So a lack of disclosure means not turning over discovery. When you don't turn over discovery, isn't that a Brady violation regarding these materials? As of this date of this report, the defense still has not received all the materials necessary for me to do a full evaluation of the FGG work. Can I just say I hate this system? I hate this system. I don't think it's a fair system at all. It is not a fair system when you have two teams and one team gets to hold on to and own all of the information. And they get to decide what the other team gets or doesn't get. Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea? That's such an issue. That is such an issue. Don't you think that's the conundrum? IgG wasn't going to be used. Well, then how did you get to Brian? They're going to say, oh, the car. Well, now we're seeing that I think there's issues with the car. Like, oh my God. And so they only have to turn over discovery for what they're going to use in a trial? Didn't they put the IgG in the probable cause? I would think if they put IgG in the probable cause, I've read the probable cause 50 million times. I know it's mostly about the car. Oh, here's another thing with the DNA. I know that there are issues with like, oh, they use the databases illegally. And I just saw a comment, Othram wasn't accredited in 2022. Those are issues. But to me, those don't make Brian innocent. I want the information, like Leah Larkin is saying, give me the data that you used to say that this DNA matches Brian Kohberger. That information tells if or is one piece of evidence to use for guilt or innocence. Put it that way. So she hasn't gotten what she needed as of that date. Obtaining the underlying, I keep forgetting what this stands for, FGG documents, forensic genetic genealogy documents via discovery. Here we go. Discovery issue has been extremely involved and drawn out. It's taking too long. They're hiding it. While some of the requested documents have been produced, Many others either have not been provided at all, or the defense has been prohibited. They've been stopped. The defense was stopped by a court order. The judge court ordered the prosecution to not give them access. I never knew that. Did you guys know that? The defense has been stopped by court order. From using them to the full effect. I don't know. Like, you can do this, but you can't do that. This is so messed up. This is so messed up. Here's a comparison to AT&T. Othram either did not preserve its protocols. So here we go again. AT&T didn't save it, or the FBI didn't save it. Othram, you didn't save your protocols, Othram. And that is a standard operating procedure. They didn't preserve their protocols, their standard operating procedures, their validation, their summaries, their error logs, and their bench notes, and their analytical data files. Well, practically everything. So they didn't save practically everything as an accredited lab would. So they either didn't save it. So it's either or. So either they didn't save it. Where's the or? Or if they did save it, what it passed on to the FBI has not been produced. Here we go with the FBI again. FBI. So either Othram didn't save their work, or they gave it to the FBI, and the FBI is not turning it over. Even though Othram was under instruction to preserve the whole genome profile that you have generated on this case, any remaining DNA extract, if it exists, any data generated on this case, any other records they have on this case, and anything else laid out in the state contract with Idaho, that work has never been shared with the defense. So again, to me, why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding it? The FBI did not preserve its work in a way that allows me, Leah Larkin, to evaluate their genealogical analysis. Typically, a genealogist builds a research tree using genealogical software. The contents of that tree can be exported as a GEDCOM. A GEDCOM file. So it's a file. In addition, genetic genealogists typically download and store a list of DNA matches from each of the matching databases. So she's saying you took that DNA from the sheath, or you could, and you would put it into your genealogical sites, and you would start getting matches. And if you were a typical genetic genealogist, you don't even have to be a great one. You just have to be an average genetic genealogist. You would download that list of matches. Because like she said earlier, it's an iterative process. You're going to want to go back and keep trying all those different matches. Juror 13's asking, is this why databases, you mean the data centers? Do you mean the data centers? Bases? They've been doing it since the 80s. They've been doing it since the 80s. I have a whole show that I did on the history of DNA testing and how they started building these databases with DNA. And I'm going to be, I'm going to be sharing those. I'm going to be sharing that. It's important to go back to those. Yep. I agree with you, Sophie. And hello, by the way, Sophie 555. We on this show over here, we talk about coincidences, contradictions, right? We've got those C words. Just another coincidence. It's just another coincidence. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that's why they're building all the data centers, because we're having data for a lot for AI, right? A lot for AI. Okay. So we were talking about the typical, they would save it, right? They would save it. And they would save it in a file so they could use it offline. Like they don't keep going back to the database. If, look, I put, oh, what the hell? If the FBI preserved these standard items, it did not disclose them to the defense. And like I keep saying, you should be leading with your chest if you have a confident, solid case. 20 memberships. Thank you, G Bean, because I was staring at my my document. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Moto. I'm so sorry. Look at that. Where is it? Right there. Boom, baby. Moto Man MX. Oh my gosh. You're so supportive, Moto. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. 20 new people. 20 new people, you guys. Welcome to the green team. And if you got one of those memberships, please make sure to thank Moto Man. Wow. Wow. Let's see. Queenie Conspiracy, Amanda Bambi, Vet Ray, Janet Stuttered, Beach, please. Yes, please. Rebecca Belton, Class and Crime, Never Again Ever, Summer Jaden, Sandy Colorado Life, Christine Brown, NSH or NS Hippie, New Orleans Lady, Oopsie Daisy, I love that name, Annette Murphy, Cats Are Bomb, Just Amber 21, Adrienne ZD, Rachel. Oh, that's a long one. Rachel, who lives near the ice wall. That's a good one. Oh my gosh. Catherine Novies, something like that. Wow. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Moto. Where's my original one? There we are.
I appreciate.
Oop.
I appreciate you. Thank 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 you for the support. Thank you. Thank you.
Moto, you said, why doesn't it auto sub you when you become a member? You mean like renew? Yeah, it does not auto renew. You'll get an email that it's expiring and then you can choose to renew. Yeah. Yes. I also learned about those gems. So I don't understand how you get them. I think you earn gems by being on YouTube and doing certain things on YouTube. And so they're called gifts. And those are the things that float up over the chat. Uh, I did not understand anything about those, but every gem is 1 penny. Every gem is 1 penny. So if you send 100 gems, that's $1. So I just learned that. And I think you can just earn them like through YouTube. So that's amazing. You can buy them, but you don't have to buy them. So you can save them up and use them for your favorite creators. Yeah. So that's how those work. Okay. So we're done with the what the hell. So here's another issue. The prosecution produced 2 S&P profiles. Oh, did I miss it? I think I missed it. Ro just sent a star. I like to see them when they float across the screen. Thank you, Ro. Thank you. Thank you. A silver star. She said, oh, at least it tells me what it is. A silver star. Thank you. The prosecution produced 2 S&P profiles, one labeled, this is an issue, you guys. One labeled Othram profile, and I never understood this before. So we have an Othram profile and we have an FBI S&P profile. So the prosecution gave the defense 2 profiles. Here's the one from Othram and here's the one from the FBI. Well, maybe that's not what, I don't know what produced means. They wrote about it in the report because she's saying they didn't get anything. These profiles are simple text files that can be opened in any text editor. So I can just open it up in a Word document. Hi, Kiss Me. A complete set of the underlying data for these 2 profiles has never been produced in this case. A complete set of the underlying data, the data. A complete set of data for the FBI profile and for the Othram profile has never been produced in this case. Now, remember, at the time of this report, and I know that Ann Taylor got dumped on with what? 54 terabytes, 64 terabytes worth of data. What? A couple days before the plea deal? A week before the plea deal? It might have been in there. It might have been in there. In fact, the defense has not been provided with protocols and procedures explaining what type of analysis was done to generate either data file. So not only do they not have the data, they don't have the paperwork. So over here, we're going to put there's missing DNA data profiles from the FBI and from Othram. So that's 1. And then 2 is missing paperwork. So to me, that's just hiding. They're just hiding. And then that's when she says that wait, how does she know? So if she has never seen them, how does she know? This is important. Let's look at this. Othram advertises forensic grade genome sequencing, but based on the size of their data file, they may have done a microarray. Oh, because let me see. Okay, so they did get text files. They got text. So it looks like they got like this, like they got like a written report, maybe like written explanations, because it's just text. They got that, but they didn't get paperwork like showing their work. So, based on the size of their data file, I'm still confused. How does she see their data file? How she's saying I didn't see their data file, but now she's saying based on the size of their data file, they may have done a micro array rather than a WGS. The FBI file is more than twice the size of the author one. Well, how does she know that if she never saw it? This is where I'm confused. Pavarotti, explain this to me. I'm going to put at Jay Embry in the comments so he can see this section. How can she tell that it's more than twice the size if she says she never got it? What do you guys think? Anybody know? Witchy is going to answer me. The data file name and size could have been in an inventory or index list of case documents. So that information is something she could have seen from just the title or label of the file, but she couldn't actually see the file. That makes sense. Like if I see file 1, 500 gigabytes or whatever, like making something up. Okay, that makes sense. We're bribing our nieces and nephews. Oh, that's funny. All right. On August 26th, August 26th, 2024, in response to the order on the defendant's 4th and 5th motions. So Ann Taylor filed motion number 4 and motion number 5, and the judge wrote an order to compel discovery. Like Ann Taylor had to do that like 25 times, something like that. Specifically, the name of each database where each match was found. The FBI admitted that it used MyHeritage as well as the layperson portal at GEDmatch. Both genealogy services explicitly exclude law enforcement. I have a controversial opinion about this. I don't care if law enforcement wants to go look at my ancestry. If there's a killer in my family tree, please go find them. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I know people are like, well, what are they using it for? What are they using it for? I don't know. I just think the way I weigh those things, it's not an issue for me. The FBI did not specify which matches were found using these prohibited databases, nor did they provide other information requested that would help me assess the reliability of those matches in focusing the investigation on Mr. Koberger. So she's saying she didn't have what they had from these private, they're like another backdoor, right? Kind of like another backdoor way. True Crime Unleashed. Hello. Let's see. Oh, you've got some pop culture. Oh, I used to watch those old-fashioned Godzilla movies where it was like, I don't know how they did it, but the doll-looking thing stomping through the Japanese cities, and it had to be like auto-dubbed. I used to watch those when I was little. Are you a professional baker, Astastic? Uncle Mike's gummies. Who's doing gummies in the chat? Let's see. The only thing that's happening here with the prohibited databases is stuff not being admissible. They are still using the databases illegally. Yes. Again, that's an issue. They should be held responsible for that. Like, either make it legal or hold them accountable and give them consequences for doing that. No one should be above the law. Not the FBI, not the judges, not the lawyers, like not the president. Like, nobody should be above the law. But yet we have 500 gazillion, 88 octillion examples of people in power that are above the law. They do not get held to the regular standard of our law in the United States. However, I just think whatever they have, they should turn over. If you did it illegally, let the defense see it. Nobody's going to fix that right now. Nobody's going to fix that the FBI cheated. It's basically cheating. So nobody's going to fix the cheating part. So just give the cheating data to the defense. Does that make sense? Right? We have to get past the part. Yeah, they did it illegally. Yes, they did it illegally, but they still got information. So you don't get to keep that information. Share it with the defense. Show what you got. And I don't see a lot of people like speaking to that. Like, I don't know. Okay. I have to stop here for today. Which is a good stopping point because we got to some of the issues, understanding the process. I'm a go slow, read things again and again, talk through it to really understand it. I hope you guys get something out of that. And tomorrow we will look at the specifics of Brian's, what they did with the tree, like how they created the tree. And just a sneak peek. Where did I put it? Okay. Oh, I already took it down, but it won't. There we go. Here's a sneak peek for tomorrow. We will dive into this, but they went all the way back to 1820, you guys. I think this is so cool. They went all the way back to an ancestor that lived from 1820 to 1890. 70 years old. Good for you, dude, in the 1800s. That's good. So they went all the way back there. And then look at all, like, I think those people had 8 siblings. 8 siblings. These are made up names, by the way. These are made up names. And then to get all the way down to third cousins. So we'll go over all of this and what Leah Larkin has to say about that tomorrow. Sarah D. Irish, hello. Beth and Shermy, hey. Sorry if I missed anybody in the chat today. They also shouldn't make things legal that don't have the support of the people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, right? It should be either things we get to explicitly vote on, or if it's laws that Congress makes, we get to vote on the people who go to Congress, so they will do what we want them to do, right? That's our process. Mumrad, thank you for that. Thank you. You're watching Cake Boss. Hey, that's better than them watching some of those like cartoons out there that are like brain rot, right? Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. I gotta go jump in my car. Make sure you go over to Dago's channel when he goes live today. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. I'm going to clock out for now. And I'll also see you guys in the Discord. Don't forget to go over there. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. That could be unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep with crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and wild to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.